the greatest part about this movie is just that the entire time you're watching it, you think he is on the run from, the authorities. And it also has him in the midst of the Cold War, right? Arming different sides of conflicts. The CIA comes in. Well, you think that it's him working solo, but he takes over all of these old Soviet armaments that were no longer, they're just kind of sitting around in a warehouse, right? And then again, the big reveal is just that at the end, I think I had a clip of it. Yeah. This, he thinks he's about to get in trouble or whatever, and this limo pulls up. And let me find it. Yeah, I think this is it. I can't play the sound because I'm afraid it's going to ding it.
That day didn't mean they wouldn't make me a scapegoat the next. But I was back, doing what I do best.
شمسية بدك للصحراء؟
شمسية للشمس.
يلا مع السلامة مع السلامة. يلا مع السلامة سلام.
I mean, imagine being so naive as to think that the arms racket isn't run by intelligence. I mean, just how stupid can you be, right? And that's part of the myth, the narrative that normies believe, that's the cathedral story that's told in the mainstream world, that there's all these organic actors out there, cartels and terrorists and arms dealers. And then lo and behold, come to find out, one of the most famous arms dealers, Victor Bout, was used by the CIA. A lot of people have never heard of this, by the way. They don't know this story. And, The Intercept covered it. Exactly. And again, the Estelins book covers it, which is my publisher's basis for that Nicolas Cage movie. In the late evening of December 15, 2014, agents of the DEA took Flaviu Georgescu, an American citizen from Romania, into custody. He'd been meeting with a Colombian man who claimed to be the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, FARC. And then eventually he's told, I'm with the CIA, right? Over the next several hours, Flavio told agents about his proposed deal, how a Southern California man introduced him to Colombian drug lords seeking weapons, or the FARC, I should say. And that night, he helped DEA agents lure Massimo de Montenegro to be detained. And skipping down, Flavio says he was not trying to complete an arms deal, but was quietly collecting evidence about the arms for the CIA. And then it goes on. So this guy turns out, so he ends up working with the CIA is the story. I'm trying to get to the Victor Bout part, so we don't care about that dude. Okay, here's Victor Bout. Does he look like Nicolas Cage? I guess with the mustache, Nicolas Cage kind of looks like him a little bit, but yeah. So basically, it ends up being everything I'm saying about, right? I mean, you can't have a giant fleet of aircraft delivering arms all over the world, and they don't know about it, right? Just think how silly that is. But of course, that's what normies and mainstream media would have everybody believe. I wonder if I could play this without it getting dinged, what they would say.
Because of his ability to arm terrorists targeting the United States. A former...
What? He was arming terrorists? What a bad dude. Yeah, but
military officer, Buddhist...
like, he couldn't do this without being an asset. I mean, it's just it's so
protected
transparent.
by powerful friends and long considered untouchable by law enforcement. But 3 years ago, the DEA devised a bold undercover operation to capture him.
Anyway, of course, this 60 Minutes thing, it's never going to tell you that he's a CIA asset. But if you get the book, which is a really good book, by the way, by my publisher, it will go into quite a bit of detail about Victor Bout. So that's the book. The Merchant of Death, as they called him. So here is the intercept piece, which you might find relevant to what we're talking about. So yeah, so that's why Lord of War is so good. But it's funny how many people have no idea. Number one, that intelligence agencies run the black markets, and number two, that he's another one of these kind of sold, like fable, like an invented villain that was the whole time just a kind of an establishment character.